So in addition to the Builder's Transit, the tripod, the snap-on wrench set, the, well, heck, I've lost track already of how much stuff. All of that stuff I got from that guy in that bundle. On top of that, I also got, I almost forgot about it, but I got this old erector set. And it's not in the greatest of shape. It's got a cool label on the inside, though. So you see, erector with reversing electric engine and flexible coupling, the world's greatest construction toy. Number 6.5, all electric. Developed at something Gilbert Hall of Science. It was on sensational new. Build hundreds of engineering marvels. This is the AO or A something Gilbert Company, New Haven, Connecticut, USA, made in the USA. Shows the example thing that was built here is the airplane ride built with number 6.5. So there's quite a few pieces in here still. We got the little house here, okay. Some screws and some nuts. There are the all-important wheels. There's, oh, we got like 5 wheels. That's kind of weird. A lot of these couplings and things. Okay, so I'm sure this is missing a whole lot of pieces. And then the most alarming thing was this almost appeared to me like this is missing pieces. So this is what I wanted to, now that I own this, I wanted to take this out and get a much better look at it. I didn't really have time to mess with this. Okay. Actually, before I carry this away, I just want to show you. So there's like a big chunk of the cast. Well, that's weird. It's brittle as heck. Yeah, so this looks like it was, I don't know if it was dropped or what the heck happened here, but this, unfortunately, this motor assembly appears to be destroyed. Oh my goodness, oh, the noise. Do you hear that? Every slight bend gives a crack. The cord is completely, the insulation on this cord has completely become brittle, plasticized. So there's the half of the motor. Oh, what a shame. I wonder if that's all corrosion. Wow. And that was the money in this set, really, was this motor assembly, I think. So it's almost, this section anyway is pretty much completely useless, I would think. Although if the armature's still good, now if somebody had one of these and this armature was burnt out, they could take this center section here with just the armature, put a new cord on it, you know. Anywho, yeah, that's, you know, that's going to probably be an eBay item, and I have no idea what that's going to even bring. I venture to guess not anywhere near as much money as I would hope. Well, all right, a quick perusal of sold auctions on eBay indicate that I might still be able to get 15 or 20 bucks for the box with the parts, the extra parts that are in it. Of course, this will be included. Not that, like I said, unless you... Well, you know what? It's funny. This whole back casting's in good shape, too. So there's really some good parts here if you needed to make a working motor. And this gearbox and frame that, you know, with the gears, it seems like that's okay. Alright, well, let's put that off to the side. That would actually work if there was a way to support this bearing end. So when I first got there early on, I came across a vendor who I spotted some collets, and I looked at the first couple collets, and I noticed they were hard-hinge collets. This is a 13/32, and this one is a 11/64. So not very popular size, but they are hard-hinged, and they look like they're in decent shape. So I tried to get these collets. I think there was also 3 other collets, but they were cheap ones. I forgot what I tried to get these collets for. I think a couple bucks a piece, and I think I said $5 for the 2, and he said no. And then later on in the day, when I was on my way out, I kind of had to go by that row again, and I happened to, I think I forgot that I had actually stopped there, and I went through, and there was a old machinist toolbox there, and I looked through the drawers, and I spotted these 2 little Starrett calipers. These are really nice little ones. I've gone over this before, where I have a weakness for these when I can buy them right. So I got this little honey right here, and this one right here, complementary inside and outside pair by the look of it. Okay, both Starretts, no rust on them, nice shape. And I decided to put a bundle together, and the guy who said no to me earlier in the morning wasn't there. I don't know if he had to go use the bathroom or what, but his partner was there, and I said, well, put together a little package deal. Got the 2 collets, plus these 2 calipers, plus this was in one of the drawers, a nice little Billings brand ball peen hammer. I think it's a Billings. Thought I saw that on here somewhere. You know what, I could have sworn this had a label on it. Maybe it fell off. But anyways, nice little ball peen hammer. The handle's in excellent shape. I got this lot right here for $10. So I did really well on that, I think. And then another vendor had several machinist items, and nothing I could really use, and the prices were a little higher than what I would like to pay if I was going to resell. But I came across this Starrett screw pitch gauge. This is number 472, and this appears to be brand new in the box. This doesn't look like it's ever been used. I mean, it's clean as a whistle. Inside the box here is a price of $12. Asked him if he'd take 10. He said yes, and that was a done deal. $10 for a 472 screw pitch gauge. I actually already had one of these, but it wasn't new in the box like this. It was just loose, and I actually just recently sold it. I sold off most of my screw pitch gauges that were duplicates and multiples. I had some Craftsman ones and some other ones, and I had some duplicate Starretts, all used, some with rust on them a little bit. And the 472 was in good shape, but I included that in as a package deal to somebody who bought all of them. And now I've got this one to replace that one. Interesting thing about this one to me is this still has a sticker on the back indicating that this was purchased through Grainger Industrial Supply, and I just thought that was kind of funny, because I know that Grainger is a great company when you know they have a lot of stuff available in their catalog. Back in the day, I don't know if they still do it, but back in the day when they would print the catalog, if you wanted a printed catalog, it was like one of these big huge books that sat up on your shelf, and it was the thing you could go to for just about anything. I even used to buy replacement parts from Milwaukee Power Tools through Grainger. We used to have a Grainger location right in the city, and I could go there and I could buy all kinds of things that I would need. And you paid more money than if you ordered it online from some of the other companies, but you could get it quickly, and that was what was more important sometimes. That being said, I think anybody knows that you probably don't want to order Starrett tools through Grainger. That it's probably would end up being one of the most expensive ways to buy something like this. And this already is a expensive little tool. Well, and actually, there you go. It's actually still on the Granger website. $87. 87 bucks for this thing. Wow. The only thing funnier than the fact that they want 87 for it on the Granger site is that somebody has got one that they're calling an antique 472 screw pitch gauge on eBay used for $59.99. Yeah, good luck selling that. Well, then again, like P.T. Barnum said, there's a sucker born every minute. So I came across another vendor who was a real talker. You know, he was really one of those personable kind of guys who practically, you know, lured you over to his table to look at his wares. And I looked at several items he had, and I spotted this this mag base, and I had a pretty good recollection that I already had one just like this that I hardly ever use. But I looked at it and I said, geez, you know, it's a brown and sharp. Okay, I don't know if you can see that or not, but right there. It's a brown and sharp. He's got, you know, he's asking 12 bucks for it. And here's the thing I thought was kind of neat about it. See how it's got this almost like a ship's wheel type of arrangement here with these 4 little nubs on it to actually be able to grab this easier, to loosen it, to swivel it, and then lock it again. And I was thinking to myself, I'm almost positive the one I have does not have that arrangement. So I thought this was kind of neat. It's engraved here, engraved here. But I checked, it's still got a good strong magnet. I'm not quite sure what this hole is for. This hole might be for mounting on a larger stand, maybe. I don't know. Anyways, point is, when I was leaving, I went back over and I got him to take $6 for this thing. So for $6, I'm not too upset about buying it. And then I came back to the shop here and I grabbed the one I had that I thought was the same thing and realized, oh, it's quite a bit different. It's got a couple things going for it that are different here. So you can see it looks to me like it's a ripoff of this, but this is a Lufkin Mighty Mite, and Mighty is spelled M-I-T-I dash Mite, M-I-T-E. So they're misspelling Mighty and Mite. But anyways, so this is a Lufkin Mighty Mite. It's a very similar design. This is kind of weird. They got this. This is a lot harder to work than this. And we got this lever on the bottom here. I forget what this does. Honestly, I don't remember. Well, anyways. So this is the one that I got. I don't even remember where I got this one. I probably paid next to nothing for it. May have even been in a toolbox that I bought or something. It's a hell of a knuckle they got on there, though. It's pretty funky. But so anyway, the thing I mainly wanted to show you was that, yeah, they got this baby blue, brown and sharp for $6. Not bad. Then I walked around for a while and didn't make any other purchases and didn't really see much. And I think maybe I got a little despondent and lost that positive mental attitude that did me so well earlier in the morning. And that led me to make some rash purchases. Well, you guys be the judge, but I came across this gentleman who had all of these machinist items, and next thing I know, I'm talking to him about prices on items I don't even need, and I'm bundling, and I ended up buying several items here, and he was a tough customer. He had sort of an attitude of almost like he doesn't care if he doesn't sell them. At least that's the attitude he tried to pawn off on me, and I think he was somewhat successful because I bit like a largemouth bass. Took that jitterbug down to the bottom. Anyways, so what you're looking at here, this pile, $96. I know. It's not my style. I usually make a killing on this kind of stuff, and I don't know what the heck I was thinking, but let's go through this. Let's see what I've got, and let's see if I can't try and redeem myself. Well, so we're going to try and work back to zero from 96 bucks and hope that I did okay. Let's start with something easy. This is a little Starrett tap wrench. It is a number 91A Starrett tap wrench. It's the complete opposite of A-bomb size. It's a little, sweet little sucker, and it's in really good shape. And he had $6 on it. So let's say I gave him the full 6 for this, which would make sense why it ended up coming up to 96 even. All right. So I think $6 for that tap wrench is a good deal. So I got $90 more sitting here, hopefully. Well, he had this little chuck. This is a Supreme chuck. Okay, that's the brand on it. Now, I'm not familiar with these chucks. This is a Supreme model OTO. Or a Modeletto. I don't know. 0 to 530 seconds capacity. 0 taper, in other words, straight shank. Okay, so I could put this in a collet and use this in my mill for really small drill bits, right? And the chuck key's there. So I'm not quite sure what the value of this is, but let's say, since he only had $7 on it, let's say it's $5. All right. At $15 on this Mitutoyo indicator. That seems fair enough. It's a little, I don't want to really say beat up. Just around the edge here on the bezel. It's not so great. But it's a 1/2 thousandths indicator. The face almost looks filthy, which is weird. Oh, what the hell? Why that looks like that? God, that almost looks like somebody wrote on the face. I think that's actually got writing on the face. How the hell did they do that? The other thing I thought was wild about this, which I've never seen before, is if you look at this face on this indicator really closely, it says Mitutoyo, blah, 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 blah. But on the left-hand side, right here to the left of the center of the dial, there's almost what looks like a QR code. You know, like you scan with your phone. This was calibrated in May of this year. And it's not due until November 11th of this year. This indicator can't be too old. That would explain why it's got the QR code on it. Huh. That's interesting. That's probably one of the newest used items I've ever bought. Well, actually, it doesn't necessarily mean, it just means it was calibrated that recently. This is a 513-402, for those of you playing along at home. Let's say I paid $10 for that. All right. So, what was I? So that gets us down to 75, right? 75 for these 3 items. Ooh, gonna be tough. Let's see. This has only got $18 on it. Also was calibrated in May. This is a 117-107 Mitutoyo. Oh, it's another one of these. Oh, that's funny. I wonder if I even realized that I had bought 2 of these at the same show. So, son of a gun. Now I know why when I said that number it sounded so familiar. 11707. Here it is. Double vision's getting the best of me. Huh. So, this one, interesting. This has the same exact anvils in it as the last one did. Just got the pin one in there, and it's got this one here. No others. I wonder if that's all it comes with originally. Maybe the other ones are all extra purchases. Well, anyways, this one looks like it's engraved. That one's been engraved by the owner right there. All right. So let's say I did 15 on this. All right. That gets us down to $50 for these two items. These are a set of Mitutoyo gauge blocks. Code number 516-931, set number BE1-9A. These are grade A. He had, it looks like $15 on these. And that's what they are. Just a straight gauge block set. Nothing that fancy. Just give you a little bit of a better look there. They look like they're in really good shape. And this looks like an optical flat. Anyways, not quite sure on the value of these. Let's say I gave $10 for these because he only had 15 on them. So then that means I'm really into these for $40. And this is what he used to set the hook and, you know, get me to take the bait. He talked these up big time and convinced me that I wanted these, even though I was thinking to myself, I've got so many depth mics. Why the hell do I want these? Well, Brown and Sharp, so it's a good set. It's an older set, okay? He's got $50 on him, and I think he was firm at this price. So what it comes down to is he talked up the fact that this is a 0 to 9 inch set. What he said was, he said, I bet you've never seen one of these before. You know, kind of like that. When I said, oh, I got sets. So his whole point was that this is an unusual set because it's 0 to 9 inch, and that a lot of these, and I was thinking about it, I said, I think maybe the ones I have, the boxes are narrower. So what we've got is we've got more rods in here. So, isn't that kind of pretty how that's all blue velour? Like, all right. So, you can see these don't stay in very well. So what we've got is we get a total of, counting the rod that's in here, okay, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rods in here, which is what makes this a 0 to 9 inch set. So that's a little bit unusual. I don't think I have a 0 to 9 inch set in Brown and Sharp. I think I have a pretty good size set in Mitutoyo, but I think most of us could agree that this Brown and Sharp is probably a superior product to the Mitutoyo, even though the Mitutoyo is fine. And this is early Brown and Sharp. This has got a date on it over here of 1994. I don't think that means that this was made in 94, although I guess it could. Yeah, that could very well be the case. So I haven't really looked up these yet. I want to say, sadly, I think that you can buy. Yeah, we're going to have to do something about this. This isn't really holding these in the way it should anymore. I think you can actually get some deals on eBay on these sets, and that it's not like it's the second coming of the Lord, like this guy made it sound. You know? Pardon me while I rearrange these. Bugging me. There we go. Alright, so this is a, for those of you wondering, this is a Brown & Sharp 608. So if you search for a Brown & Sharp 608 depth mic, you can find a ton of stuff. Then the trick is to find the 0 to 9 inch set. Well, kind of hard to say. You know, on the one hand, we've got this guy up here. He sold this one. It's in the newer style box. It's the set 608 0 to 9 inch depth mic for $37.69. Only 2 people bid on it. $9.95 shipping. So it's that's like $48. That's pretty much what I paid for this. All right. And then this one down here, This looks more like the set I've got, more in the vintage black case with the velour. Sold for $75, free shipping. So I pretty much paid the right price for this. If I needed this set, I did okay. Problem is, I really don't need this set. I've got too many depth mics. Oh, hold the phone, guys. I think I just redeemed myself. This gauge block set right here that he only had $15 on, and I figured that I only really gave him 10 for. It turns out there's one sold on eBay for $60 plus shipping. Here's another one sold on eBay for $50 plus shipping. So I severely undervalued this this gauge block set apparently. So all right, I feel whew, oh, I'll be able to sleep tonight now. So the next vendor I happened upon, he didn't have really too many machinist items, but I looked into a cardboard box and I saw a whole stack of drill bits. A lot of them were, you know, probably half-inch and under Morse taper. I would say there was probably about a dozen drill bits in all. And I inquired about the drill bits, and he said, "Tell you what, I'll give you the whole box for $10." Well, I thought, well, you know, that looks like it might be a pretty good deal. And I started to look through the box and quickly realized most of the drill bits in there were Chinese. And then I happened to spot this one in its case here, and I was like, oh, this is a Flea forge. And I was like, oh, that'd be nice. Let's see what we got. And then I opened it up, and I was like, son of a gun. Not only is it a Flea forge drill bit, it is a brand new Flea forge drill bit. It is clear to me this has never been used. That is a nice score, and that's a 27/32 Flea forge brand new drill bit. So I tried to get just this one alone, and I forgot what I tried to get it for, a couple bucks I think, and I think he said no, he wanted $5 for it. And I laughed and I said, you only wanted $10 for the whole box? And he was like, yeah, that's if you take the whole box. In other words, he wants to get rid of stuff. So the thing is, I didn't want to. I have quite a hoard of drill bits now, and it's getting larger by the day. But I wanted this drill bit. So then I happened to spot, of all things, another Milwaukee Sawzall empty case. This is for 653821. I don't remember if that's the same model number. I mean, what are the odds of finding one of these empty cases, you know, to solve my problem of not having a case for one and having a rusty old metal case for the other? And then I happen upon a second one at the same flea market. So I was like, oh, how cool is that? So I said, well, how much for the empty case? And he said, tell you what, $5 for the two, for the drill bit and this. So I was like, okay. I figure I paid $3 for this, which is a smoking good deal on that drill bit, and $2 for this, or vice versa, whichever way you want to look at it. So, you know, I'm happy with that, and just make sure that this one, make sure that other Sawzall fits in this. Check this out. Yeah, it's the same deal as the other one. This must be for a newer version. The handle kind of goes up, and I think on the newer ones they redesigned the handle to try and make it a little more maybe ergonomic, where the handle's kind of tilted up like this. And this one, it's the old standard handle, but I'm not really worried about that. The important thing is I've got something now that I keep this Sawzall in. Actually, if I retract that all the way in, I can even keep a short blade on there. Here we go, 2 for 2. I happened upon this vendor who had these bottles. This is genuine Honda, Pro Honda HP coolant, ready to use 50-50 blend. So this is pre-mixed 50% water, 50% coolant for water-cooled motorcycles, okay, engines. Imagine you might be able to use them on other, you know, probably any Honda Sports unit. And then I thought about it, and he had 4 of these left, lined up just like this on the table, and he had a sign down on the table, and it said $1 a piece, which is a good enough deal. This is overpriced, this stuff. You know, if you go to buy it at the Honda dealer, it's stupid money. Especially since it's pre-mixed. So half of this is water that you're paying for. You know, don't even get me started on pre-mixed. Anyways, he had the 4, and since it was his last 4, I said, since you only got 4 left, how about $3 for the 4? I know I'm shameless, right? I know. I can't help myself. And he's like, oh, I don't know, $1 a piece is a pretty good deal for those. And then he had said, I had actually looked at this. He had $5 on this. This is a Lisle, L-I-S-L-E, Lisle brand piston ring compressor. Okay, used, and it's got an issue. I'll show you, but this is a big one. Okay, that's a big one there. See that? That would be good for diesel engines. And he said the guy he got it from was a heavy truck mechanic. Now, the issue with it is, you see all of these little bendies here on the edge? Okay? That's from somebody using a hammer or something to bang down this into the cylinder. Okay? So, it's seen use. But the important edge here is perfect. So this is still a usable piston ring compressor. Now, I may never end up using this. I don't know. What I'm wondering about is I'm wondering how big the pistons are in the Oliver. If I decided I want to do a ring job on the Oliver, or a piston sleeve kit on the old Oliver, right? So I figured, you know what, for $5 I should definitely consider having it, even if I just put it away until I may or may not use it. So I said, what's the best you can do on the piston ring compressor? Oh, and the wrench, the original wrench is in there, in case you're wondering. That goes in here. Okay. So I said, well, what's the best you can do that? He says, I tell you what. He said, I'll give you the 4 bottles and the piston ring compressor for $5. And I was like, yeah, sure. He's like, that's like you're getting these for $2 and this for $3, or I don't know. I don't remember how he said it, but he was just like, yeah, you just want, you know, the day was wearing on. He was probably already thinking about going home and hoping he would go home with less stuff than he came with, a lot less stuff. So I got this for, I don't know, $2 or $3. So for $2 or $3, the 21500 ring compressor can go in the arsenal, along with those valve spring compressors and all the other automotive tools I have, specialty automotive tools I have, which I may or may not end up using. Well, I can tell you right now what drove him to have such a low price on this of $5 is because the original receipts in the box, Cream Automotive Service sold one miscellaneous Lisle tool for $19.95. I have to believe that was used, because this is a cash invoice, and why would an automotive service company, why would they have tool sales? So I'm thinking that they just decided to sell this guy this tool. I find it hard to believe that this thing was brand new, that it was only $20. Well, I tell you what, I stand corrected. The date on this invoice is 1982. Maybe back in 82 you could buy that thing for $20 new. I don't know. That's a heck of a thing, though. $21.45 with tax. And the instructions, as if you needed to really know how to use it. Instructions are even in there. If you have one of these in your possession, you better already know how to use it. Oh, so getting back to the Magic Jamba Juice here. My first thought was, you know, at some point I'm going to want to get back to that old Honda CR250 project, and I could use it in there. And then I was like, oh, what am I thinking? My Polaris ATV is liquid cooled, and I'm sure there's no reason why I can't use Honda HP coolant. I mean, I'll verify it, but I bet you this is perfectly fine for that application also. So that was a smoking deal.